As I was growing up, I had a lot of health problems. I was born to teenage parents, grew up poor and eating whatever was available. I was overweight as a kid as a result. I was sick all the time. And that ignited a curiosity to finding solutions. That led me to find Weimar College. I decided to go there for a year to learn more about health. I went as a student, but I learned a lot, and my health did improve for a number of years as I continued to try to implement what I learned. But by the time I got married, and my husband was not a health-conscious person,
I would eat anything. I never thought of what does the food do to my body.
and that obviously had an influence on me. And as military spouse, there's a lot of stress. He was often gone. I noticed that I was eating to fill the gap, and so my health started to deteriorate. And then my husband came back from deployment, and I thought that I was now going to be able to exhale and we could enjoy time together, getting reconnected as a family. And then my son suddenly enlisted in the Army. I wasn't going to have that time together as a family. And I could not seem to lift myself out of the cloud that put me under. My husband, in compassion, said to me, "What can I do for you?" And honestly, I don't know where this came from. I just said, "NEWSTART." And he said, "Well, what's NEWSTART?" And I just remembered that when I had attended Weimar College many years ago, you just feel such peace there. NEWSTART was synonymous with care and peace for me. There was a lot of hesitation after I decided to go. For one, I knew that a lot of the people who go to NEWSTART go because they're really battling life-threatening illnesses. I had a battle of a different sort. Once I got there, the anxiety only heightened.
Day one, she calls me crying, "I can't do this."
I wasn't sure why I was there. And then I received news that my son was coming home. So I'm at NEWSTART now. I hear that my son, who was the reason that my heart was broken in the first time, was coming home. And I felt like I need to leave NEWSTART and I need to go be with my family. The next day, the chaplain said to me, when I explained to him my dilemma, he said, "Does his name happen to be Josiah?" And I said, "How do you know?" And he said, "Well, there's a pastor in our depression recovery program right now who asked everyone to pray for Josiah." And I said, how could that be? And he said, "Yeah, he's a pastor from Oklahoma." Well, my son was involved with a ministry from Oklahoma called Gideon's Rescue Company, and the pastor happened to be training with the depression and anxiety recovery, and he had gotten other folks together to pray for my son, unbeknownst to me. But the same person who came to NEWSTART to pray for me that morning had already been praying for my son that morning. And it just let me know that God is in control. And Dr. Gallant said, "I think you need to be here." So my NEWSTART experience was phenomenal. Once I decided to stay, I said, if I'm here, I have to be all in.
While she was there, she was like 100% in. She did everything.
And Dr. Gallant said, "So would you be interested in doing the fasting?" Yep, I'll do it. Well, it means, yep, I'm doing it. I loved the food. I loved the classes. And the fresh air was really what I needed. Sunshine. I needed all of that. I needed to come apart and rest a while. By the end of NEWSTART, I lost a total of 5 pounds. and I lost bad habits, which probably weighed a lot more than that. And I gained an optimism and a fire that I had lost. So I was just so grateful, really. So when I came back from NEWSTART, I wanted to invest the time in continuing my NEWSTART journey. I didn't want to lose hold of it.
You know, when she came back from NEWSTART, she was saying, hey, I have to have like X amount of steps in. She showed me how to calculate the steps, and I try to maintain whatever step count she has.
And not eating dinner, because I've adopted the 2-meal. Like, people were seeing that I was different.
After I could tell, she was so much happier. She looked and she felt better.
And that I was so exuberant about sharing what, you know what, because I live 3,000 miles away from NEWSTART, and I want everyone to go to NEWSTART. I just wanted to do everything that I could to bring NEWSTART to the Northeast. So we had started a little walking club. We set up a couple of Zoom classes while everything was shut down, and I would invite friends and neighbors. But as things opened up again, we started to have small community events where we would share things on nutrition or the benefits of exercise. So we had a series where we bring in a guest speaker, and we reserved a theater right on Main Street in this one town. And we did a 5-day seminar going from sickness to health. My husband's life has been impacted by my NEWSTART journey. When we started the community health outreach, and Carmelo and I were going to host it, I challenged him to try to do a little more of NEWSTART than what he had done before.
I was like, all right, I'll do what I can. So I incorporated some of the things that she learned.
And so he rose to the challenge, and I could not believe it, but Carmelo, he lost, I don't know how much weight, even just before our first health seminar, which was really like 3 weeks.
I started to incorporate some of what she learned at NEWSTART. I was noticing like my weight was starting to go as well. I was at 238, and then now, you know, I weighed myself yesterday, I'm like at 208.
And so, boy, when the exercise segment came up, we said, share, and the people were all ears. They knew that he had trimmed down. And when the program ended, we hosted the 10-week follow-up program, where week by week we would introduce them to the principles that are taught in NEWSTART. And it involved cooking, it involved challenges, like exercise challenges. My husband did a great exercise demo, and my daughter helped with some of the food and stuff. So she would bake like vegan and gluten-free treats, and they were really good.
They really started to enjoy it, and they were like, oh, this is actually like real. And if she's able to do this, then I can do it. I'm like, yeah.
She would always put that extra like touch of like beauty or flavor or love.
I stopped cooking for a little bit, so when they started doing these classes, my mom really needed help. So I was like, you know what, I can like just make some water, put some lemons and stuff or whatever. But as the weeks started going by, I'm like, this is really boring. I'm gonna do something interesting. I started finding whatever I could outside, different frozen fruits, and I would mix like cherries and lime. I would do
lemon, or she'll do like cucumber water, or like she even did like blueberry water.
People really enjoyed it, and it was beautiful. And to see her start to blossom in her talents, it was so rewarding for me. To see that the spark that lit my fire was warming her, and she was now giving to other people, and they were benefiting from it, and they were loving it. That just was so rewarding. Yeah, so my son finished boot camp. When we began to do the health outreach, he was quite a bit away. He was stationed somewhere, and we hadn't really seen him. But We told him what we were doing, and he surprised us and showed up. And we had never done anything like that before. And my son walked in his uniform, first time I had ever seen him as a U.S. soldier dressed like that. And he came in, and it just meant so much to me. And I thought that was going to be the only time. This was a 5-night seminar. He kept coming back, and it was no small drive. It was such a good gift to me that all 4 of us were together doing this work together. Now, we had invited a number of family members to the seminar, and they said to me, you know what, we'll go for 1 day. And I said, that's okay, that's fair. But some of our family members saw him there, and that was encouraging to them. He would say, so you coming back tomorrow? And so they came back the next day, and then the next day, and the next day. And at the graduation, I was blessed because a number of my family members were there. They were still there. My own mother stayed through the whole program. I mean, all this time, you know, I would share with her different things that could help her health, and she would give it or take it or leave it. She's still going. She's attending like all our programs. And this is rather remarkable because, well, I told you that we grew up eating whatever and doing whatever and addicted to television and everything. So health was not our philosophy growing up. So for them to benefit from my NEWSTART journey, oh, that's so valuable. What would I say to someone who is thinking about NEWSTART? Don't delay. Why wait? It's better than you think it is. All the stories that people share, it will be even better for you because it will be personal. This world would be a better place if everyone one by one could go to NEWSTART.